how did I know that I could talk to dead people? Part 2. So for me, it was something that took time to discover, right? So I already said in part 1 that I would say my biggest hurdle of not knowing, because I did not know that I could talk to dead people until I was 30, is what I thought that meant. Okay? And so I was misinterpreting what my experiences were. And so what ended up happening that really set me on my path was that I received a reading. I received a reading from a lady, and it completely changed the trajectory of my life. So my bestie, my soul sister, Melissa, like, this was our thing, right? This is what we love to do. If we found someone, which, I'm telling you, 13 years ago, it was a lot harder to find someone who does this work than it does now. Even over the last 13 years, it has vastly changed, right? And so we booked back-to-back private Skype calls, and Zoom wasn't even a thing then. And Melissa went first, and she wasn't impressed. She was like, ugh. And so I kind of walked into it a little bit underwhelmed, because if I was to be honest, I had 2 babies, 18 months apart. We were a single income family. I really had no business. Business spending the money on this, but I did, and I'm so glad that I did, because it literally changed my life. So we get on the call, she's all of a sudden like, oh my God, right? And oh my God, did you know that you're gifted and I want to talk about this? Are you open to talking about this? And at this point, I've heard similar things, but nobody could tell me what kind of intuitive, if you know what I mean, right? At that point, I kind of knew, like, yeah, I know better. So, like, I get a feeling, and then I still do the stupid thing, and then I'm like, fuck, shouldn't have did the thing, right? Like, that was pretty much my intuition up to that point. And so she did not tell me that I could speak to the dead, but that I was going to develop my intuition, that it's going to be a big part of my life, that I was going to do it for work, I was going to be well known for it, and that it was, why I'm here. And I did feel like this is true, not knowing what that meant, right? And so she gave me a few words to look up, to find a book on, and sent me on my way. She said, you're a seer. I didn't even know what that meant. It means clairvoyant. Did not know what third eye was. And I look back, because it probably was a year from this reading to me discovering that I can communicate with the dead. So even in that time, there was a little bit of fresh. I first learned about law of attraction, and then I learned about spirit guides, and then it was kind of like my spirit guides took me forward. So everything for me was self-taught, and it was kind of like my little secret hobby that I had when my babies would be napping. This was like my little bit of me time, right? And looking back, if this lady would have said, hey, you're Teresa Caputo, like, you can communicate, I'd be like, fraud, wasted my $80, And so for me, it had to unfold that way. She did tell me that it was going to take me 3 years, and I was really going to feel the pain of it, developing my gift. And it absolutely was true, because I was so riddled with self-doubt, because everything is so internal. And this is going back to part 1, where I said I didn't know what I was experiencing is how spirit communicates. Right? My idea of watching, movies in other famous psychics and mediums was like, oh my gosh, like, what must they be physically seeing? So because I wasn't physically seeing dead people, or God wasn't talking to me in this deep godly voice, I totally passed it off to, oh, I'm so crazy. I have such a wild imagination. But that's literally how it works, guys. This is why we overlook our loved ones communicating with us. What I have come to learn, not only over the last 13 years developing my gift, and then using my gift over the last 10 years reading for the public, consistently, is that, like, oh my God, we all can communicate with our loved ones, right? I say everybody can communicate with your loved ones. Some of us get to do it for work. That's the difference, right? And now it's like such a part of my life. It was the unlearning. I didn't really have to learn to become intuitive. I had to unlearn all the BS that we have consumed over our lifetimes, telling us that we're not intuitive.